to satisfy that dependency. All right, now and cream pie, like I said, has nothing. Dwarfs have not three blind mice. I mean, these are metaphors that are so distant from our reality, where the idea that we are obsessed and addicted and blinded by that addiction is not a distant metaphor.
Yeah, so just trying to remember one of these games that's loaded onto my computer came with it. Um, it's Minesweeper, and there's varying levels of difficulty with Minesweeper. You can have the easy or medium or difficult or expert level, and as you go up, there's more and more mines, and less likelihood of you finishing the game. I'm sure most of you guys have played it. Um, so it seems to me this, the expert level of Minesweeper when it comes to Gary's arguments. Um, this idea that life itself, the DNA molecule itself, uh, that there it might be an absentee landlord. There might be nobody in charge of this thing, and it might be out of its mind and out of control. I mean, that's that's the Gary. You talked about a daisy cutter. I mean, that's a sociological daisy cutter that nobody wants to touch. I mean, nobody. I mean, you're you're like one of the only guys I know on YouTube or anywhere else who even is willing to come near that subject. And of course, when you do, people just go into all-out meltdown mode and start calling you every name in the book. And it's mostly ad hominem. I've seen very little. I've seen nothing in the way of counter argument to that argument that you present, that Mother Nature, metaphorically speaking, is out of her fucking mind. And and I got to be honest, and I got to give you credit. I had really never given that any kind of serious thought until I heard you broach the subject. And then when I heard that, it it just kind of floored me. It rocked me back on my heels, and I started thinking, God damn, because I consider myself, reasonably self-aware, reasonably intelligent. I go, how come I never thought of that before? But now that you've kind of, infected my mind with this seed idea, I can't get it out of my mind, and I keep thinking about it, and keep thinking, and every day I come a little bit closer and closer to your position, and it's a boy, and I don't mean to suggest that there's anything less than dangerous about this. I mean, this is a dangerous fucking philosophical idea.
Just
You know, it's very dangerous. I mean, it has profound implications. And I think that's the reason people recoil at it with such ferocity is because they know that this is like you're looking into the abyss here. You know, Nietzsche said that when you look into the abyss looks into you, and this is definitely getting close to a very very dangerous area, and I think people realize that. Anyway, just riffing off your comment, you know, going into landmine territory. I think it's one of the most dangerous philosophical territories that anybody can explore.
Yeah, I don't
So
know if it's
I'm done.
dangerous. I just think it is. It does provoke this kind of petty, knee-jerk, I must defend nature's honor kind of crap because now we've offended something just too sacred. It's a sacred cow. Even Remy's eating of its milk. He's sucking on its teat, and he'll say something stupid like, "We all understand that nobody's driving the car." Oh, and so you understand nobody's driving the car, and yet you'll put your baby in it. You'll sit there and tell somebody they should have kids and put their baby in a car that nobody's driving. And like that's going to make any sense at all. It's going 90 miles an hour, and there's no driver, and you're going to put a kid in it. And what am I supposed to call you but a complete fucking idiot? Oh, well, that's a great standard. So why don't you just say, I can take it, so can they? So, I mean, yeah, so if you ever did get thrown into the war and drafted into somebody's war, well, because other people have taken it, you can take it. It doesn't matter. I mean, that's just a just bullshit argumentation. Why should anybody take it? Take a ride? For what? Because a DNA molecule thinks it's a good idea? Oh, yeah, that's a great. Oh, yeah, it does not matter. Well, there you go. I mean, that's the fundamental disagreement right there. But right there, you've said all that needs to be said. It does not matter, Gary. I mean, there's no conversation. If you don't understand that it does matter, then we have no foundation for argument because you obviously have no value, no sense of value. And so there's no meaning. So, I might as well be Manson. I might as well just come up with some kind of wacky theory where I can save the world by, eating Remy's liver, and that be as good as any other rhetoric I could discuss, because it all doesn't matter. It's all just some kind of silly board game of no consequence. I mean, to me, that's just such insipid. What 4-year-old doesn't know that, Remy? You're talking about what 4-year-old? What little kind of nursery school kid doesn't know that it does matter? They seem to all figure out that it matters.
So Gary, just so you and other people here tonight don't think I'm too obsequious and fawning, I do have something I want to disagree with you on. I mean, good philosophy is kind of, got to have some disagreement in there. A few videos ago, you were like walking down a path and you were pointing the camera out at, in front of you, and you were calling life imbecile. You said, "This is imbecile." And I thought about that, and I thought, and I could definitely get what you were talking about in an abstract sense. Well, one of the things I like to do every day is, go out for my daily walk, and I'm fortunate enough to have, giant redwood trees and oak trees around me. And there was a nice park bench, and I sat down, overlooking the lake, and I was looking at all these trees, and, I was thinking about what you said, and I just couldn't go there. I mean, I was looking at this, and I was saying, God damn it, this is glorious, it's beautiful. And I thought, well, is it imbecilic? Is there a... I just tried, I tried to reconcile what I was seeing with this beautiful lake view with all these beautiful trees and this bright blue sky and the sun, and I just thought it was glorious, and I thought, I can't square this with the idea that this is imbecilic. Now I totally get, evolution and everything, and natural selection and all that, and this is just how we evolved, and who knows, maybe we just evolved to appreciate trees and lakes and skies. I don't know. Maybe some alien species would come here and they'd look at this and go, God, it was horrible. It's horrible. Like C-3PO on in that Star Wars, I forget which one, when they were on the moon, and C-3PO says to R2-D2, the Force Moon, and he says, and you said it was pretty here. I mean, maybe an alien species would look at this and think it's not beautiful. But anyway, I don't want to go on too long. So I can't go there. I can't call this imbecile quite yet. Do you have any comment?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the statement imbecile is talking about what it's made out of, okay, what the constituent ingredients are, all right, what it's built out of. 2 billion years of dumb evolution for dumb causes, just for consumption, reproduction, and eventually cannibalism. I mean, so that's the context of the statement. It's not about whether it's pretty or ugly. It's about whether it has anything intelligent in its makeup. If they're an intelligent ingredient. So that's what imbecile means, and I'm, whatever. I mean, but yeah, my counter argument to you is that yeah, somebody can be living in the Sahara Desert, and they're going to have a different definition of beautiful. They're going to have a different definition of tasty. and somebody living, on the south of France, or somebody. I mean, everybody's going to have a different perception of beautiful. People like this. People like Bella, who live in like, you know, the tundra, and they like snow. Snow is beautiful. Yeah, I find snow abhorrently ugly and horrific. Uh, you know, it's like having, dog dew all over the ground. Yeah, so I hate snow. I hate it. Um, so what, you know what I'm saying? So I mean, that's just subjective crap. I can't tell you it's ugly. And I almost would argue that yes, over 2 billion years, the fact that we find it a comfortable environment, that green is a color we don't find ugly, you know, probably makes sense. It probably makes sense that in 2 billion years we would not find green leaves repulsive, since we probably for most of our history were eating them.
Yeah, that follows. That follows in an evolutionary sense that over time, all right, this guy undefined keeps sending me unwanted
Yeah, well, he does the
communication.
same to me. There's nothing you can do with undefined. He somehow is broken into the room and will do his little thing, but I can't do anything about him.
Okay. Um, Forgot. It broke my train of thought there.
Beauty in the universe.
Yeah, beauty in the universe. So, okay, so the I guess we're talking about the intelligence or lack thereof behind it all, right? We're we're
Yeah, well,
talking
I'm
about
talking about imbecile. I'm talking about something that doesn't understand what a feeling is. It's kind of like a Remy. It doesn't know what pain and pleasure really are. Doesn't understand concepts like addiction. Doesn't understand psychology. Doesn't know what love is. Doesn't know what anything is. Doesn't know what even the concept of beauty is. It's just as dumb as a goddamn rock.
right. Well, it's weird on the snow thing because man, when I was in high school, I had to run a snowblower and shovel a lot of snow. So I think I created like little snow canyons in our driveway that were on either side. The snow was up around 15 feet. So I think I understand the love or abhorrence for snow as well as anybody. And I don't know. I didn't even mean to get off on that. You mentioned, ah, geez, this guy undefined. Hey, if I leave his little comment box up, will that prevent him from sending new comments?
No, I don't think so.
All right, I guess I just got to deal with it then. Anyway, um, what else?
Well, you don't understand them, Remy, in their real context. And you certainly don't understand pain and pleasure's values as having plus or minus signs attached to them. And I bet you don't understand love for what it really is, which is an addiction. I mean, a completely subjective addiction that's based on so many subtle, like I said. I mean, I even said that in a video this week. It's just that it's kind of almost pitiful that the fact of the matter is that some sort of dopey circumstance, like who your sixth grade teacher was, or some other kind of bullshit, is really going to decide who you're going to marry. It's going to decide what kind of woman you find attractive and all that kind of crap. Whether you like big breasts or small breasts, or whether you like a big fat ass or a little small ass, or whether you like this or that in a woman, and who in the end you're going to end up finding attractive. And that's going to be decided by arbitrary, stupid circumstances. And that's a kind of a pretty sad, pitiful fact that what your definition of who you will be able to love is going to be defined by those kind of circumstances.
Gary, does love have a plus or minus sign?
Well, that's a tricky one. It's a strong passion, a great desire. I mean, boners are fun. Um, but yeah, love. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously it's a double-edged sword.